to a survey, a surprising 32% of the Indian Gen Z and millennials are inclined more towards saving than spending. And only 5% said that they choose leisure over saving. Now, we can't deny the role of the global pandemic in changing the old prevalent mindset and making the youth prioritize their financial planning, their health, and consequently even insurance. I'm Aisha Faridi and thank you for joining me today on this episode of HDFC Life Presents Live Sessions powered by ET Now, where we deep dive into the various aspects of insurance and simplify it with experts for your better financial planning. Joining me today on the discussion are Vijay Vaidyanathan, Head Key Alliances, HDFC Life, and Sanjiv Roy, Group President and Country Head, Fee Income and Services Experience at Yes Bank. Gentlemen, both of you, great to have you today on the Times Network. And Sanjiv, if I could start with you, your vast amount of experience, starting off from insurance now to, investments at large. Wanted to understand firstly, given that all that's happened in the last 2 years of COVID and, how priorities in life for just about everyone have changed, what are some of the consumer trends that you're witnessing?
Good question, Aisha, and pleasure talking to you as well. I think there are multiple things. There is a huge revolution that has happened around digital.
Yeah.
In the last 2.5 years.
We're practically living a virtual life.
Life. Working from home, never
Yes.
thought possible. When you were at home earlier, you were told that you're not working. Now you have to work from home. So those are changes. But coming on the consumer trends on the finance side, we are seeing that more and more people are now getting used to not just shopping digitally, but also looking at fulfilling digitally. So earlier it was all about trying to do your research online and buying offline. Now both are happening online as well. COVID has taught one thing that there is nobody who is safe. So when it comes to need for insurance, that has gained significant amount of traction over the last 2.5 years, reflected in the figures as well. People have understood the importance of health insurance, for example, because medical exigencies practically touched every life in the last 2.5 years. Fourth is, customers, even Gen Zs are now starting to get into the savings and investment mode. Even the youngsters, typically youngsters are all about consuming. Now they have started realizing the importance of saving as well. So multiple trends are emerging, very interesting. Wish COVID would not have happened ever, but it has happened. I think some things have moved progressively well. Value of life has gone up. People have started valuing their the financial value of their lives as well.
And Vijay, that has really been the underlying learning from COVID, right? That there is nothing more important as life. Jab tak hai jaan.
Yeah.
So, given that HDFC Life is the powerhouse of insurance, how critical has life insurance been now in the scheme of things, in the scheme of planning, investment, and how you go about living life, literally?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Aisha, very valid point. Obviously, today's awareness for insurance has gone up a few notches. But I want to step back and start with saying, contrary to popular belief, life insurance is not about just pure protection, right? There is a lot to insurance. There is protection, investment, pension, saving. Life insurance caters to all of these segments. And you have products that fit in the bill for each of these segments. So, life insurance is something that should be considered as an integral part of a financial plan. One should always look at insurance as something that can be merged into a more holistic financial plan. But you do have plans that address each and every need today.
Yeah. Sanjiv, you made a very interesting point about how we're living life digitally now. With digitization also comes variety, and for the investor out there also confusion. Where do I start? How do I start? What do I need to first look at? So give me some, basic steps on how an investor out there can go about beginning their investment journey, which up until I think 2 years back was only life insurance.
Yeah. Fundamentally, the investment journey starts with a goal. What goal do you have? And the goal depends on your age, your life stage, and as well as
income and aspirations,
dreams. So I believe that every human being actually has two values. One is an emotional value that you carry, and another is a financial value. So the first thing you should do is look at what is my financial value and who all are impacted because of my financial value. Which means that if you have an aging parent, if you are starting to earn, you may have an aging parent. If you are marrying early, then you may have a dependent in terms of your wife or your kids or your husband. So you need to first protect that financial value. The first thing you need to do is to buy a good life insurance cover for yourself. The other thing you should definitely do is look at a family floater health insurance cover. That's the starting point of covering yourself, because the goals will decide the amount of money you need for the goal, and then backtrack and see what kind of instrument do I need, what that allows me the flexibility and the possibility of generating those kind of returns to achieve that goal. So goal, life stage, and ensure that you are starting with the cover first.
But how critical and important is insurance in today's scheme of things? And I'll tell you why I'm asking that. Because today the avenues of investment are far and plenty, which is why. Why is it that you need a traditional method like insurance?
I fundamentally believe that anybody who has a financial value, coming back to that point of financial value, underlyingly has two basic needs: protect and prosper. You basically want to protect what you have created, and you want to prosper. You want to make it grow, right? But if you look at protection part of it, saying that how do I protect which I have already earned, you will look at insurance as the first fundamental product. Then, whenever I am even going on this journey of prosperity, there are some goals which are nice to have. There are some goals which are non-compromisable. So based on the goal, you will need to look at life insurance as an important ingredient, not the only ingredient, but an important component of your overall financial instruments that you are buying.
Vijay, so let's come to life insurance plans and let's little elaborate on that, because even when it comes to the overall life insurance umbrella, there are many products available there, right?
Yeah.
So break it down for us. When it comes to life insurance, how do I go about it?
Sure. So let me just give a backdrop of what categories of insurance products exist. So like I mentioned, people generally know about the protection, the pure protection plan. I will not talk about that. I'll talk more on the savings and investment side.
Sure.
So broadly, there are three categories of products that exist. There is the participating product, which literally means you participate in the profits of the insurance company. So when you invest in a participating product, when the product makes profits, when the insurance company makes products,
in some way.
Yeah, so they are shared in the form of bonuses. You must have heard of bonuses in an insurance policy. So bonus is a share of the profit that is shared back, and there are strict guidelines, regulations from the regulator which says that 90% of the profits that are made in an insurance policy has to be shared back with the policyholder. So in that sense, it's a very attractive product to per se invest in for a long-term goal. And then we have the non-par products, which are more guaranteed in a sense. So there is no complication in the product per se. There is a very strict give and get kind of a equation that is given. This is how much you invest and this is how much you will get back. So that's the non-participating product. And then you have the unit linked, which like the name suggests is linked directly to the market. So it's a direct risk return trade-off. You are willing to take more risks. You have underlying investments which are completely market linked, like 100% equity. You get the reward, associated reward, or you can even opt for completely debt-based funds within the unit link. And these are all products that generally come bundled with a life cover. So there is an inherent goal protection, like Sanjiv mentioned. You plan for a long-term goal. You have a life cover attached to that element of financial planning that you're doing, so that if something were to happen, in fact, insurance is the only product that we keep saying, insurance is the only product where the goal or the asset gets created from day one, from the time you start investing.
But Sanjiv, just taking up from the point that you were earlier making, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
Folks, when it comes to life insurance also, does that same apply? Because going by what Vijay is saying, there's something out there for everyone and everyone's needs.
As I said, again, based on all these 3-4 plans that kind of plans that Vijay talked about, it depends a lot on your risk appetite. The amount of money that you put in these plans depends on your goal amount. The tenure that you choose, that I want to invest for 15 years, depends on your age and and the distance from your goal. So a 45-year-old trying to plan for his or her retirement has about 13 to 14 years to invest so that he can start getting the money the moment he retires. For a 50-year-old, he does not have for 13-14 years. He has only 7-8 years to put that money. So he has to go for a different plan. Contrary to very popular belief that insurance only means term insurance, insurance umbrella is far bigger. One of the things that Vijay has not spoken yet about is about the tax benefits that you get.
Yes.
Your premium contribution is has tax benefit, and your entire maturity amount is tax free.
Yeah.
And that's a beautifully designed product. Think about it. There are two types of scenarios. One, you are getting a maturity because the product has ended its term and you have reached your goal period. The other is your family is getting a maturity because something unfortunate has happened to you, right? Now imagine a scenario if it was taxed. 30-35% of that money would have gone away for that widow or for that child who is orphaned. So it's a very, very good initiative, or it's a very good gesture by the government to say that the maturity proceeds will remain tax free. Half my career in insurance, I consider it to be a very, very morally it's a very nice, fulfilling job to be propagating that category.
Sure. But Vijay, traditionally, there's always a stigma attached to life insurance. It's for the old, it's for the ones who have a lot of dependents. Today's Gen Z and millennials don't think like that. They think they can make all the money that a life insurance policy can give them by investing in various other methods. Help break that myth for our viewers.
Yeah, so for starters, like Sanjiv mentioned, contrary to belief, the Gen Z investor is quite savvy. They want simplified products, but it doesn't mean that they do not want to do saving. They are very, very savings oriented, conscious. They are financially aware, so if they find a product that is suitable to their needs, they are quite comfortable investing in those products. Second, very important point is today with the regulator coming in, the products that are available in the market are extremely consumer oriented, consumer focused, and the customer today recognizes that these products are some things that are equally competitive with other instruments that are existing in the market, and hence they are comfortable investing in them. The third important point, I think Sanjiv alluded to that point briefly, is it is a product that sort of forces a habit of saving, because you do realize that insurance is a long-term product. Anybody who ventures into an insurance product, ideally, and that's what we also recommend, is it should be for a long-term goal or a long-term objective. So they come in with a clear mindset that I need to invest in this product for a tenure of 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, and hence it forces a discipline of saving over a longer period of time. I think thanks to the regulator, thanks to the way the products are structured now, the consumer is more aware, and hence that myth is probably getting broken now.
Broken a little bit. But Sanjiv, just taking away from Vijay and parting words here, how does one get future ready? When is the right time that I start investing? Should it be day one of my earning day from when I start earning? Should it be when a child is born? Do parents start investing then? I know it's different for everyone, but what is the right time?
I think your network talks a lot about it now. ET now, Times now, right? So it's never late to start investing. The moment you have earning, you should start saving. The moment you have saving, you start investing. And hence the day to do it is now. There are a lot of families, a lot of parents actually who start training their kids to start saving and investing to get them inducted into this whole process. Something that I am trying and struggling for my kids, but it's important for everybody to understand that when you start saving early, you don't need to save for a very large amount. You start early, you start now, and start with small amounts, and then go on to do larger amounts as your affordability goes up, as your income goes up.
On that note, we're going to wind it up here, and I hope our viewers were able to benefit from all of the insights that our guests gave about investments. When is the right time? What is the goal that you should be looking at? And yes, more importantly, the importance of life insurance, no matter how much you earn and no matter what stage of life you're at.